It's as difficult for me to talk about sex with my child as it is for anyone else to talk about sex with theirs. You would think I would be really good at it. I actually screwed up the talk, the birds and the bees talk with DJ, with our son. Terry says that's all my job. I'm the sex writer, I do sex advice, sex education, my job. And yet after we had done the, Daddy, how did I get here? Where do I come from? Where do babies come from? We had done all those talks about human sexuality, just the basics, when he was little. And then one day when he was about 9 years old, he came downstairs and he jumped up on the counter and he sat there and he looked at me and he narrowed his eyes and he said, "You and Daddy have sex for no reason. You can't make a baby." And I was like, oh, right, fuck. I left out of the sex talk with my son 99.999999 of the sex that humans have, which is for pleasure. Even straight people have a lot more sex than babies. Human sexuality, on average, 1,000 sexual encounters for every one live birth. Pleasure, intimacy, release, connection, that bond, that's what human sexuality is about almost all of the time. And I had this conversation, we had conversations with DJ, and all we'd covered was reproductive biology. All we'd covered was where babies come from. We hadn't covered the rest, also known as the most of it, which is sex for pleasure. And then I had to have that conversation with DJ at 9, which was weird, but I did point out to him that straight people have a lot more sex and they have babies, and gay people have sex for the same reason that straight people do almost all the time. Straight people have sex, pleasure, intimacy, connection, release, the bond. That's why gay people have sex too. Every once in a great while, straight people have sex to make that baby. But mostly when straight people are having sex, they're trying desperately not to make that baby because they're not ready, they don't want. It was awkward. Now, we have conversations every once in a while about birth control. He's a 15-year-old straight kid, and I know the average ages at which kids lose their virginities and pregnancy rates among teenagers his age, and we are on him about it, and it is appropriately awkward. We said all of DJ's life that we didn't want to be the nudist parents, and I think some people expect us to be the nudist parents. And by that I don't mean naked. By nudist parent, what I mean is that parent, hopefully a friend's parent, not your parent, who is too glib and comfortable talking about sex with his own kids and his kids' friends, and it just made you creep out. We are not that parent. Even though I'm a sex writer and a sex columnist and I answer letters from teenagers, I am not that parent with my own son or with his friends. It's appropriately awkward. Every once in a while we have to have a conversation about pornography, about birth control, about consent, about the way boys treat girls, about sexting, about photographs, about parties. And it is awkward, it is strained. I go in with the info I know I need to download for his safety. I tell him, just listen, and I know it sucks and you want to get out of this room as fast as possible, so just listen, let's get this over with. And I do the download, I give him the info, and then he bolts from the house as fast as he can.